Okay, so back to rebel in Owen County. I'm talking about this Negro insurrection in Owen and Gallatin County of about 300 or 400 black folks with 2 or 3 white folks who was getting them organized. There's a Negro insurrection in Owen and Gallatin County at the very onset of the Civil War. So it's interesting to compare how the community attacks the Negro insurrection versus the Ku Klux Klan insurrection. Okay, so there's a Ku Klux Klan insurrection that happens in 1870, 10 years afterwards. But right now you have this Negro insurrection, and immediately, all these white people are freaking out. They're trying to call all the governments and all the governing forces in order to squash this rebellion. So it seems like when it comes to Negro rebellion, then there's a lot of I guess I don't want to say consolidation, but there's like a lot of there's more effort to quash that rebellion versus the Ku Klux Klan, which they all kind of got scared and allowed them to intimidate everybody. But the fear of black folks getting guns, it seems to have scared all people across the board. But when the white Ku Klux Klan had guns, then that was actually, it was barely won by an Owen County resident, a U.S. Marshal named Willis Russell. And Howard Zinn says that the point of history is to learn about the heroes in our history books. There's a lot of bad things that happen in our history, but what we need to learn are those folks who stood up to what was wrong and they actually accomplished something good. And when you read history, there aren't that many heroes available. So when you do find one, it's always great to put them on a pedestal like they should be. And Willis Russell is a badass. U.S. Marshal Willis Russell out of Owen County, out of Gratz. He's a badass. He's cool. Okay, so May 11th. The reported Negro insurrection in Owen and Gallatin counties originated as follows. One lady met 2 black folks armed, and when she went and told her minister that the black folks were arming, he at once spread the alarm. There was considerable excitement in Boone County opposite this place last night. The military were under arms waiting for the signal gun to render assistance. They killed 4 colored people on Sand Ripple in Henry County, and stamping ground they forced all blacks from Scott County City. Oh no, that's something else, but that also happened too. So black folks are getting killed all over the place. Yeah. Okay. So there's that last article about the Negro insurrection. Now between 1870 and 1873, there was a ton of black folks who were killed, and these are just the ones that were listed in Willis Russell's report at the very end, which basically saves everybody, was the report on how accurate it was. So, okay, so here's a list of the black folks that were murdered by Owen County, Kentucky white supremacists. 1870 to 1873, you had a Wallace Liberty Dickerson, you had Levi Justice Fishback, Sam Emancipated Crew and family. They killed Sam Emancipated Crew, Sam Crew and his entire family. They wiped them out. James Mr. Owen County Born and family. John Radiant Dickerson and family. I wonder if John Radiant Dickerson and Wallace Liberty Dickerson were related. But that's 3 families: the Bourne family, the Crew family, and the Dickerson family. That's what these KuKluxers are doing. They're burning entire families in their houses. So these bastards are just fucking indiscriminately killing anybody just because their motherfucking skin color, pulling Trayvon Martins all over the place. So you have Jordan Irreverent Mosby, then you have Jordan Invalid, Mosby's son. So we don't know his name, but we do know that the gunshot made him mentally handicapped. So you also have Al X. Talley's and his brothers and his mother, Thornton Love Dunlap, who's Al Talley's mother. And then you have Lewis Revolutionary Wilson, who died and got killed July 1873 in Gratz, Kentucky. So that's 19 so far, between 70 and 73. After 1873, there's 2 in 1876, two 20-year-old black males. Henry Martyr Smith, August 22nd, 1876, was lynched in Owen, Kentucky. He was 20 years old. Squire Fred Hampton Hammond, August 22nd, 1876, was also hung, and he was 20 years old in Owen, Kentucky. 1892, January 28th, a 20-year-old black male was also hung, named Special Lego Gibson. So there's three more. So just in the reported lynchings, I was able to find 22 people who were black folks who were murdered in just Owen County by this Ku Klux Klan group. Okay, and this Ku Klux Klan group was actually taken over a lot of spots. They came out of Henry County, and they're a roving band of just terrorizers wearing some stupid ass hooded costumes. And they wear hoods because they know that they're fucking shitty, evil people. They're cowards. They can only attack people in the dead of night. It's almost as if, like, I mean, the same way like the feuds, they want to say that there's honor. You know, for my honor, I'm going to defend my honor, but there wasn't any honor in some of the tactics and how they kill people, ambush and bushwhacking and assassinations and grouping together with 20 other people on horseback and terrorizing innocent black folks. That's beyond fucked up. So here's how Jordan Mosby and his son, here's how his situation went down. Not very long after this party of Ku Klux went to a cabin on the farm of W.M. Bourne in Henry County, there is an old Negro man named Jordan Mosby and his family resided. So they lived on W.M. Bourne in Henry County. They had shot and wounded his son, who was about 18 years of age, and he was consequently paralyzed for life, and none of the assailants had been punished, although he recognized the men who shot him, and some of them were arrested. So this Ku Klux Klan was attacking people in Henry County and Owen County. Henry Smith and Squire Hammond, the two young black men who were hung together, one day apart, but for the same offense, alleged offense. Robert Martin, a white supremacist dickhead. So Robert Martin's a prick. He tried to murder Henry Smith just for being black, and so in self-defense, Henry Smith killed Robert Martin. Squire Hammond was Henry Smith's buddy and probably his cousin. He ran and hid in a cornfield where he was, you know, captured and returned to jail the next day. They went after Henry Smith's buddy because they were friends. And since one black man had killed the white supremacist, I guess they didn't feel that killing just one of the black people was justice. An eye for an eye wasn't good enough for them, which it wasn't justice to begin with, since he was defending himself. So Henry Smith defended himself, shot Robert Martin, the white supremacist dickhead, and then the people of Owen County hung Henry Smith, and then they found his buddy Squire Hammond, and they hung him too. So the Owen County News had said that Squire Hammond was at one time indicted for larceny, but the Commonwealth Attorney Montfort had the indictment dismissed on the ground that the prisoner was insane. So the insanity defense would have worked for him if he actually was insane. Kind of like Ellison Cotton Top Mounts. No, he was kind of handicapped. Cotton Top was handicapped in the Hatfield and McCoys. So Cotton Top, I don't know, I guess I feel like there's a kind of a similarity, because how can you kill somebody that's insane or crazy, that's mentally has something messed up with them, they don't control their own behavior? And just like Cotton Top, he says, but the Hatfields made me do it, and then they killed him. So, and he's right. He was the least, he did not deserve to, the other ones deserved to die more than he did. He deserved to die the least out of the entire Devil Ants Hatfield crew. Special Lego Gibson. Lego Gibson sold Frank Legon, Frank Legon, his horse. So Lego Gibson is a slave, and he sold Frank Legon his horse. At least the horse that Lego Gibson was given to by Dr. Taylor, I guess, to use on the farm. Dr. Taylor gave Lego Gibson a horse. Lego Gibson thought the horse was his, and he sold it to Frank Legon. However, once Dr. Taylor had heard about the sale of the horse, he's outraged. He's pissed off. So maybe it was his horse. Maybe he's just pissed off that, a black man made some money off a gift that he had given him. So Dr. Taylor is pissed off. He hears about Lego Gibson selling a horse to Frank Ligon, and he's pissed off. So Dr. Taylor used his political connections to get it back. So he went to the court and said, hey, I need to get my horse back, and then the officials went to Frank Ligon and got the horse back. Frank Ligon was pissed. He was mad. He was a white supremacist piece of shit. And since Dr. Taylor had used the law to get his horse back, that humiliated and it pissed off Frank Ligon to the point that Frank Ligon went after Lego Gibson. Armed. He went after him armed. And when Gibson saw the enraged man with a gun in self-defense, Lego Gibson shot the white supremacist dickhead Frank Ligon just above the hip, which eventually he died from a few days later. So Lego Gibson understands what happens when you kill a white person, as it happens, several times, and a few years before this had happened, that even if it's in self-defense, that you're gonna die. So since he knows that he's gonna be hunted, he took off. Lego Gibson fled to Carroll County. Sheriff Shepard and Deputy Donaway arrested him at the residence of Boswell Hunter. When he was arrested, he was quietly picking a banjo. So Lego Gibson was just picking a banjo. Lego Gibson was taken to jail, and he was brought to Owenton, and he lodged in the Owenton jail on Tuesday night. Last night, about 11 o'clock, he was taken from the jail by a mob of about 60 persons and was hanged on a young sapling, so a small tree. And then the Kentucky Post ran a sensational story January 28, 1892, with the headline, "Strung Up in Owenton." The murder of Lewis Wilson in July 1873. The Ku Klux Klan murdered a colored man named Lewis Wilson. Wilson was a peaceable, inoffensive Negro, and he resided on the farm of Mrs. Mason Brown in Owen County. They went to his house in the night, broke open his door, and they immediately shot him dead. For no apparent reason, just because he was a black man. And that's it. They went to the Mrs. Mason Brown in Owen County, and I guess evidently the white people, the Brown, Mason Brown, I don't know if she was an older lady, but she didn't defend them. There were 17 men in the gang. It was about 2 miles from Gratz, Owen County, Kentucky, and I could hear the reports of their guns while they were shooting him. After murdering Wilson, they set fire to his house and they burned it to the ground. So not only did they kill this peaceful, innocent black man, but they also torched his house. Wilson, in his dying declarations, mentioned the names of several of the party whom he recognized. And this is Willis Russell's writings. And he said that I'm confident that Wilson has killed simply, that Wilson, not has killed, but Lewis Wilson was killed simply because he offered to lend Willis Russell a horse to assist him in taking grubs to New Castle. So Willis Russell, a white man, asked the black man to borrow Lewis Wilson's horse, and because Willis Russell had the deputy, the U.S. deputy, or the U.S. Marshal, and because the U.S. Marshal had asked this black man for a horse, and because the black man gave the horse, then you had 17 of the Ku Klux Klan in Owen County kill him. They killed him because he gave him a horse, okay? After the murder of Lewis Wilson, the governor offered a reward of $500 each for the apprehension and the conviction of the 17 men engaged. A correspondent of the Courier-Journal was sent to Owen County, who informed that he had a conversation with the governor, and that the governor desired Willis Russell, to catch those men if possible. One of the parties engaged in this raid, a boy about 18 years of age, confessed that he was one of the gang, and he gave the names of nearly all the parties engaged. So Willis Russell was able to figure out who all of the 17 people were. Willis Russell then arrested one of the parties mentioned by the boy when he also made a confession. So he was able to arrest one of the parties and got a confession out of him. He took the person who made a confession before Judge Roberts, the county judge of Owen County, and that's when the county judge was both the judicial judge and the judge executive, where he had an affidavit to all except 4 of the party. And on the following day, he arrested 3 of them, and he took them to Owenton and he placed them in jail. The others, when they heard about it, they hid out in the woods, and 3 of them were shortly afterwards taken out to Indiana by Bill Smoot. And Bill Smoot was one of the leaders. Fucking Bill Smoot.